Hey everyone, Jesse K here. So, when the whole COVID-19 thing ended up happening, I ended up doing a really cool project, which obviously you can tell is a terrarium on top of my 120. Unfortunately, right now there's nothing in my 120 because I kind of accidentally nuked the tank because of high nitrates and nitrites. My fault, unfortunately, but it is fixed. Now the time is just when do I want to put fish back in here? We'll see. Plus, I'm trying to decide what I want to put in here, whether I want to do more of your smaller South American cichlids, New World cichlids again, or if I want to do something completely different, so on and so forth. So, trying to debate. We'll see what happens. Probably in the next couple weeks or so, I'll figure out what I want to do. Anyways, back onto that project. So, as you can tell, I have a terrarium 75-gallon tank on top of my 120, and that was my project. I started the project about the same time that the whole virus crap was going on. Cool thing, well, unfortunately, kind of a cool thing, I guess you could say, is that with the 120 gallon tank, I have a Fluval FX4 canister. And my goal was to use the outflow as the waterfall feature in this aquarium, or in this terrarium, or vivarium, whatever you can call it nowadays. Anyways, how it would go is that obviously that's the outtake from the aquarium, then, or the intake to the canister. The outtake to the canister is actually right up here, and it flows about halfway down that log, or the bark. And then it goes into this waterfall rock feature, into this reservoir down here. Then I have a river feature that goes out, and I have 3 other reservoir areas, as you can tell. It goes out over here, and here's the exit area outside. And this is where the waterfall, or the water, actually exits. And it drains right back into the 120. It was working for a time, but I believe either one, I need to change my hood, or what I have a hood for, so that more humidity can escape, because so far it keeps about 100% of that humidity in for the most part. But I think what I need to do is change out the hood for something that's more open, or what I need to do is take everything apart and potentially reseal each glass panel individually again, or at least see what may be leaking, because unfortunately this whole back area, and a lot of times this side area as well, ends up overflowing with water. I want to say most likely it's because it's the main water feature is actually overflowing into here or seeping into it, because I didn't silicone in the right place, unfortunately, which could have happened. It's my first time actually doing something like this, which I have to say is actually quite good. For my first time doing something like this, it actually was pretty good. Now, the door I made myself. I completely drilled out the square and put a new piece of really thin glass, added this door hinge to it. I even did this as well myself. I have a little bit of a strain mesh there to try and keep whatever I have in the tank in, which there are some dart frogs in here. I want to say 4 in total. And then I do have some morning geckos as well. I want to say 3 in total. But anyways, if you're wondering too real quick, I accidentally did that crack because I was emptying water out on my driveway, and well, I scraped this onto the cement, which ended up putting a nice crack in the terrarium. That was 100% my fault. Anyways, as you can see, the plants are doing amazing for the most part, especially this tree right here. Unfortunately, I don't remember the names of everything, but as you can tell, that thing has grown like crazy. This, I believe, is some kind of umbrella plant, I want to say. But if you look at all the roots that are covering all the glass, it is nuts. And that's actually doing real good as well, which is nice because it gives it a little bit more color in here. This was doing good for the first couple months, but now it's alright. That's all I have to say, really. This is doing amazing as well. I actually need to cut some things back. This is doing so well that it actually ended up spreading through roots into, that's a new one, this is a new one as well, and we'll see how those do. I really love this plant. I have to say it's my favorite. My rose over here is doing alright. It's been struggling since I got it. Hopefully sometime down the road it'll do a little bit better. I want to say most likely the humidity's kind of having some trouble with it. Since it's technically not a tropical plant like everything else in here is. I have this plant right here. It's doing alright for the most part. It's been growing, but hasn't been growing too crazy. The fern over here has been doing good too. Hasn't overgrown or anything. And then this has been growing pretty crazy as well, as you can tell. And let me get you a good shot of the roots from it as well. There's actually one of my more kind of carpety plants as well. It's actually doing pretty good. It's not growing too fast, which is nice. But here's some of the roots from that one plant. And here's kind of the other side. Kind of looks like a spider web almost. But everything I've done in here is from myself. The hood, the glass cutting, or glass drilling, glass cutting for the squares, the siliconing. Like I said though, it was my first time actually doing that, so I have to say I'm pretty impressed with myself. Other than that, all the frogs are obviously hiding. Same thing with the geckos, otherwise I would show you where they are. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing anything. It is bioactive substrate as well, which is nice. I added some springtails, and what else? Some worms, and I believe some isopods as well. So it is bioactive substrate, which is nice. Like I said, depending on how the animals continue to do, I may end up taking everything out and trying to redo, or at least figure out where the seals might be leaking, and then actually get this working again. Really cool when it was working. I wish I had the video to be able to show you guys, but unfortunately I do not. So, anyways, that's it. Have a good one, guys. Hope you liked the video. Leave a like, comment if you want to say something cool. Later.